We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'll go ahead and start off by the introduction of the board, starting with Bob Armstrong.
Good evening. I'm Bob Armstrong. Aloha.
Good evening, I'm Laura Sturgis. Aloha.
Hi, Ross Isokani.
And then those online, please.
This is Chulan Shupert Kwok. Aloha.
Lori McCarney here. Thank you.
Kevin Lai, thank you for coming tonight.
All right, thank you. My name is Ernest Carvalho, and I'm your chair for tonight. Yes. All right, everyone, before we get started, I want to make clear about agendas, okay? Agendas need to be submitted to the NCO 7 days before the meeting because it needs to be sent to the city clerk at least 6 days before the meeting. Board members, however, wishing to add to the agenda must request to the chair at least 10 days before the next meeting. This is a requirement outlined in 2-14-11C1 or 2 of the neighborhood board plan. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. We're going to go ahead and start off the meeting with public safety report. Honolulu Fire Department, please, are you here? All right, not hearing Honolulu Fire Department. If they come in, we'll go ahead and just throw them right on in. We'll go next to Honolulu Police Department. Go ahead, Honolulu Police Department. And could you please state your name clearly?
Hello, I'm Sergeant Freeman with HPD District 1. I will start off with the stats for this month. Total calls for service, 2,333. Last month was 2,277. Motor vehicle thefts, 8 this month, 9 last month. Burglary, 4 this month, 2 last month. Thefts, 29 this month, 28 last month. UEMVs, 16 this month, 11 last month. Assaults, 19 this month and 12 last month. Sex assaults, 2 this month, 3 last month. 0 graffiti cases, same as last month. 3 drug cases and 6 drug cases last month. I can take any questions.
All right. Do we have anyone in our lobby who has any questions for Sergeant Freeman of HPD? All right, not seeing none. Anyone in the community, in the community, not a board member, online who has any question? Candace, go ahead, please.
Aloha, everyone. This is Candace's husband, Keith Crowdo. We live here at 215 North King, but we're very much involved with downtown Chinatown community. For the police reporter today, question, there's almost most afternoons, maybe around 3:30 or so, sitting at the top of Kekalike Market at Hotel Street, usually sitting with a dog. There's an obese, local-looking gent that is usually sitting. He's got a great big belly, and he usually has his hip sack with him, and he's dealing drugs openly. He's counting his money. He's got bottles and bottles of pills. Homeless are coming up to him, and every day he's out there, I see police walking by doing nothing. He's dealing drugs. It's pretty obvious, and I just wondered if you're aware of that. Does it sound familiar? Is it something that's been addressed, or can you please address it? Thank you.
Because we've submitted pictures also of him to on the Core mobile app as well, but we only get a response from Core saying it should be, if you witness anything suspicious or illegal happening, call 911.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think the best thing for this meeting, I would recommend you guys contact our narcotics division. I can email the number. I don't have it offhand by memory. But for something like active drug dealing like that, it would probably go more through them versus a patrol issue, just because of the type of investigation needed on that.
So if someone sees them openly selling drugs, we wouldn't call 911. We'd just send the picture over to your narcotics division then?
You can call 911, but because of what's needed in the investigation, a uniformed patrol officer coming up in a police car approaching on foot is probably not going to have a very likelihood of success in getting what we need for an arrest.
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. If you could email or give Ernest the email address, that would be great.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Anyone from the community? All right, not seeing any. We'll go ahead and we'll start with Board Member Lai.
Chair, thank you. Sergeant Freeman, earlier today, I was speaking with the Department of the Prosecuting Attorney about some election-related matters and was referred to the HPD White Collar Crime Division. Might you know of a good contact or a way to reach that department, and are they able to meet with citizens in person?
Just like the narcotics division, there is a number for our financial crimes or white collar. They'll fall under our criminal investigation division. I do not have that number offhand, but I can also provide that in the email response. As far as them meeting, that would be probably up to their commanders, or if it's a specific detective you're in contact with, they may be able to meet with you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other board members? Board Member Ross Isokane, please.
Thank you, Chair. Hello, Sergeant Freeman. So last month, I think it was your colleague, Sergeant Lee, I was commending HPD on a great job of largely staying out of the news with negative stories. And I'm thinking it might have jinxed y'all because this month there's been a lot of news. The thing that really jumped out at me was the allegations of the unjustified DUIs at those checkpoints. My understanding is those allegations are stemming from possibly, federal quotas and maybe like just a bad practice of potentially allegedly allowing officers to leave after one arrest, giving them a full pay. So, I really support all of our officers. You guys do a really great job. And I feel like, any potential abuses might just be a few bad apples. But maybe just a question, not for you necessarily, but for leadership. What are they really doing? Get a response to Chair Carvalho. What are they doing to investigate? What are they potentially doing to prevent these abuses of power? Thank you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I pretty much, as far as that stuff goes, I probably have the same information you guys have through the media. So that's
More appropriate.
about where I'll fall on that one. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Do we have any other board members? Not seeing any. I'm going to go ahead and end this. So, concerns from the businesses on Hotel Street, from Kekeliki Mall down towards River Street. A lot of the people are filling the walkways with wheelchairs and doing the drugs right in front of the public. It's right in front of the public. Another thing, I just walked up here, coming here this way, your methadone clinic, you got tons of people out there doing drugs in front of the methadone clinic. This is a school area. How can we go ahead and address that problem? Because it's getting really bad.
As far as the on-view drug violations, it just comes down to us seeing them, right? And hopefully being able to enforce it. Whether or not the convictions and the geo restrictions help or not, I don't know. That's kind of, we'll have to see down the road. The methadone clinic, I think there's been some push to try and get them moved in the past, but I don't think we've had any luck with that, right? So we're kind of stuck with the methadone clinic as far as I know.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. You have a good day, and we'll see you next month. And remember, next
All
meeting
right,
next
take care.
is the 1st of July.
1st of
It's a
July.
Tuesday.
All right.
It'll be on a Tuesday, yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very
Take
much.
care.
You have a good day, Sergeant Freeman. Next up is approval of minutes. Let's get through this quickly this month, please. My recommendation is to approve the NCO draft written summary for video record that has been reviewed and posted in our Google Drives. Do we have any objections?
Objection, Chair.
All right, Board Member Lyon?
Thank you,
have
Chair.
1 minute.
Thank you. I'd like to move that the board defer consideration of the May draft written summary. Testimony has been presented, which shows several, again, significant errors in the document, which could have been caught by a simple proofread. We got things like calling another neighborhood board our neighborhood board number. We have people recording votes before they were documented as attending the meeting. The descriptor for CID is incorrect. Senator Rhodes' name is again misspelled. And perhaps most egregiously, there was reference to a community walk at Foster Botanical Gardens, and that if people were to attend, the first 25 would get free attendance. But it turns out there was actually a free Celebrate Exceptional Tree Day at the garden that day, and everyone got in for free. So it's a little bit disingenuous to present it as such in the written record. For these reasons and others that are posted in the Google Drive under testimony, or rather under the agenda items, I again encourage everyone to defer consideration of this document. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're not going to be deferring anything. We're going to go to a vote on this minutes. We're not going to think about last month's minutes. And I want to make a correction to you real quick. Yeah. First of all, it was supposed to be the first 25 gets in free. They decided at the last minute that they make it free for everybody. So now we're going to go ahead to a vote. Yeah. Is there?
Chair, point of order, Chair. Yeah, good.
No, we're not deferring. Go ahead. Any objections?
Chair, point of order.
Discussions? Any discussions? All right, not hearing, no discussions.
Chair, I've raised a point of order. Cannot be recognized.
What is your point of order?
Thank you, Chair. A motion was made from the floor. I'm not sure if adequate time was left for a second to be entertained from other members of the board before you proceeded.
All right, I know what was made last month. This is this month. We're going on this agenda. We're going on this.
Point of
So
order, Chair.
we are going on the approval of minutes for Tuesday, May 1st. We're moving forward. If no other discussion is here at this time, we're going to
There
do a
is a
roll
point of
call
order
vote.
made,
We're going to
Chair.
do a vote. Go ahead, Camila.
A roll call for the May 2025 minutes as written. Armstrong,
No.
Fitzsimmons, not here. Isokane,
Yes.
Lai,
No, and a point of order is made after the vote.
McCarney,
Aye.
McDonald, not here. Schubert Kwok,
Aye.
Sturgis,
Aye.
Carvalho.
Aye. So the minutes is passed. We are not going to do any
Point of
more
order,
follow-ups
Chair.
or any point of orders. We are now moving on.
Chair, you cannot
HPD,
dismiss a point of order.
Fire Department, please come up. HFD, thank you.
Hello? Oh, sorry, folks. Thank you. All right. My name is Khalil Kia. I'm with the Engine 1 at the Central Fire Station, and these are your statistics for the month of May. So in the month of May, Engine 1 and Battalion 1 responded to 1 wildland or brush fire, 5 nuisance calls, as well as 6 activated fire alarms that did not have a fire involved, 147 medical alarms, and 3 motor vehicle collisions. Your fire safety tip for this month is to kind of talk about some of the incident trend dashboard and the fire response search tool. So these are some tools that the fire department has developed for the public to use. The incident trend dashboard gives residents easy access to 5 years of emergency data by neighborhood, including fire, rescue, medical, and hazardous materials incidents. It includes interactive maps and charts, and the dashboard helps communities better understand emergency trends in their area. The fire response search tool replaces the previous response mapping tool, which is no longer supported and was recently taken offline. This tool enables individuals and entities to look up specific emergency incidents in which they have an interest in or may have been involved in or affected by. This tool enhances transparency and provides residents with efficient and direct access to incidents in a secure and accessible format. Developed by the Honolulu Fire Department's Planning and Development Division with the help of City and County of Honolulu's Po'okela Fellows intern, these data tools reflect our ongoing commitment to transparency, innovation, and community engagement. To access these tools, you may visit fire.honolulu.gov/news-and-info. You folks have any questions?
All right, do we have anyone in our public here in the library? Is there any questions for you, Sergeant?
I'm just a firefighter, sir.
Just firefighter Kaleo, okay? Not seeing any here. Anyone online has any question for firefighter Kaleo? All right, not seeing none. We'll go to the board members. Any board members have a question? All right, not seeing none. You have a great day. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, thank you very much. Next up is presentation item 4.1. No. Yeah, 4.1. Item 4.1 will be presented by Leonard Kam, representing the Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Chinatown 808 for some events taking place over 2025 and 2026. As a reminder, these are informational presentations to notify the community. We won't be voting on these. Go ahead.
Thank you. Seems like it was just yesterday that I was here presenting for this year's events, but we're getting a head start. Plus, we're coming in with the Mid-Autumn Festival. So the first item is the Mid-Autumn Festival and Parade that's going to be held on October 4th, mainly in the Chinatown Cultural Plaza, but we are adding on a parade aspect to it that will run from the intersection of Smith and North King Street, and will go along King against traffic a little, up Mauna Kea and to the Cultural Plaza along the Sun Yat-sen Mall area. We have spoken with HPD as well as with DTS regarding this. The parade portion will start around 6:30 p.m. and they advise us that that's a low traffic volume time period, so it's totally doable with minor impact to the traffic flow. So that is the first event. The events that are happening in the Cultural Plaza are going to be the typical food and craft booths, as well as entertainment in the Cultural Plaza with line dances as well. There will not be any firecrackers, and that's going to be the extent of that event. Are there any? Did you want to address each event individually, or?
Go right in. Go right into it.
Okay. So the next event, now I'm wearing the Chinese Chamber hat, is the Chinatown Open House, the Choi Chang event on February 13th. So that'll be 2026. That's the traditional lion dances throughout Chinatown. So we'll close the streets around 6:00 p.m. And the lion dances will process throughout Chinatown area, starting from the intersection of Nu'uanu and King Street. And we'll go throughout King, Mauna Kea, Smith, Nu'uanu, Hotel Streets, Kekaliki Mall area up until River Street and Bethel Street, as well as North Beretania Street as the borders of this event. Same thing, firecrackers will be burned and line dances will be going on throughout the night till 9:00 p.m. February 13th and 14th, the Chinatown New Year celebration will be in the Chinatown Cultural Plaza, sponsored by the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. That's our traditional celebration with craft and food booths, as well as entertainment on both evenings going until about 10 p.m. On February 14th, that is under Chinatown 808. Chinatown 808, that is our street festival, which will be along North Beretania Street, bordered by Mauna Kea and A'ala Streets, as well as in A'ala Park. And the parade will start at about 4:30 from the State Capitol grounds along Hotel Street throughout Chinatown. And that we'll still continue to have entertainment, food booths, food trucks, as well as craft booths along the street. There will be 3 entertainment stages, one at the intersection of Ala and Beretania, one at Beretania and Mauna Kea, and one in Ala Park. And the event will end at 10 p.m. Important to note, no alcohol will be served at any of these events. And these events have been held before, and so we look forward to you joining us at these events.
All right, thank you. Anyone in our audience here in the library, has anything to ask of Mr. Cam? Not seeing any. Anyone online? That's it. All right. Then we'll go to our board members. Any of our board members, Shulan Schubert Kwok?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Leonard. Can you hear
Thank you,
me?
Lon.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it's kind of early for you to be applying for the trade chain for next year, and also for the Chinatown parade, because we get a new board in July 1. So the new board members will not be able to know about this. So is it possible for you to come back to us after the new board's on, like maybe October, so that more people can hear it, because it's so far ahead this time?
Well, so I was working with the city on this, and they wanted a lot of notice on this so that they can plan for it, as well as take into consideration all the necessary permitting and approvals that they need to get. So that's why one of the requirements was that I need to present to the neighborhood board. So which is why I took this opportunity, since we could kind of throw all the events together. These events have always traditionally been held, and so we didn't see that there'd be much issues as far as continuing with it.
No, it's
Right.
just a suggestion.
Board member
that,
Sakani, please.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Yeah, thanks for coming. And I would say usually we have the opposite problem of organizers not giving us a lot of notice. So yeah, thank you for a lot of notice. And we know that the process takes a long time. Supportive of these events, as they have been before, just kind of a off the wall question. I know that the mayor had these visions on River Street of trying to open that up more to events. And I'm guessing you probably work closely with the mayor's office. Have you heard anything about that initiative to try to kind of expand on River Street, College Walk, and get that open for more events?
So my understanding is that those areas will be transitioning from Parks and Recreation to Department of Transportation Services in the not too distant future. I think that will help to enable groups to do more in those areas. We're trying to see if we can expand out there for the Mid-Autumn Festival especially, and potentially for the Chinatown Festival as well. So if those areas become available during that time, we could potentially expand into those areas. We're all about bringing more activity to the area. Statistics have shown the more activity you get in an area, the less bad influences hang out there, and less opportunities for homeless to camp out. So we're trying to work with the city to enhance that.
All right, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, Shulan, I'm going to give you a follow-up. Just give me a second. We're going to go to Bob Armstrong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming, Mr. Cam. I understand that the mayor has put some pressure on the folks who own or run, I don't know if it's the same word, the Chinatown Cultural Plaza recently. Do you have any insight as to what's going on in that discussion, and if we'll see improvements on that property?
That's above my pay grade actually. So we don't get much information on that. I do hear though that he is interested in pursuing more activity there and potentially working with them to improve the facilities as well. But that's about as much as I know. And the news bites that I hear on the.
All right.
Thanks.
Is there any other board member that has anything to say before I give Shulan her follow-up? Nope, not hearing none. Not seeing none. Shulan.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that it's good to do it early, but at the same time, I was also thinking that it's so early that that some people may miss out, the new people that come to Hawaii. I know it, and I've been involved for a long, long time. So it's not about me. It's about like making sure that more people know about it and that new members also know about it. So I would, at this time, if it's okay, make a motion to support these events, but also request that Leonard, if you can come back again, even though, we all support it, is to allow more people to know about it.
All right, so we're not going to be doing no motions on this at this time, but I heard what you said, and understand where you're coming from. And then we'll just go ahead and move from this point on, and we can discuss it later. Is there any other persons here? Any other board members? Anything to say? Not hearing none, I'll go ahead and finish this up. I want to thank you very much. You're a legacy event. That's the way I look at it. We all know what's going on and all this. So I really thank you folks for what you guys do. I just have a question about the October 4th, 2025 Mid-Autumn Festival and Parade. So who's going to be able to join the parades? Anyone can join the parades, or is this going to be a select few? You just doing just like line walkers, kids, what's
It's
up?
pretty open. We're encouraging participants to have lanterns because it'll be in the evening, and we'd like to kind of light it all up and kind of bring the cultural aspect of lanterns into the parade. But you're more than welcome to join us, being part of the community, and we always welcome your participation and partnership.
All right, we do appreciate that. All right, thank you very much for your time. You have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, bye-bye. All right, next up, we're going to 4.2, 4th Street Mall Business Improvement District, BID, and Downtown Arts Center, introduction of future community events on 4th Street Mall and Wilcox Park area. We have Ed Korbisky, and then followed by Sandra Pope. All right, go ahead, Ed.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is thank Chairman, Board Member Bob Armstrong for getting the lights fixed at 11:32. Apparently, when you use the 311 app, I get duplicate all the time, so it's hard for me to do it. So I have 6 more lights south of Hotel.
Better.
Yeah. So for anybody who's been downtown, you know in the last 5 years, it's been on a roller coaster. It was 2 years of COVID, then Long's closed, then a Walmart closed, and now Ross closed. So we're trying to, and a lot of these towers are converting from office to residential. And similar to the Chinatown guys, we're trying to bring more events down there to make it more safe, more accessible. So one of the first things we did with Councilmember Dos Santos Tam is we did change the designation of the mall from a street to a park. And the biggest reason we're doing this is because of food. When you pull a park permit, you can only do cooking in designated charcoal pits. So I can't do food trucks. I can't do any cooking on the mall. It's hard to do events on the mall without any food. And so that was one of the first things we were trying to do. I want to start doing stuff on the final Friday of the month. I'm still waiting on a grant to see if I can be able to start producing it. But if you want to do, we want to do regular events every month, and then hopefully have a larger event. ESPN wants to do a family day in the mall. Again, we're talking with Sandy about this larger event on September 26th. The other challenge I do have to mention to you is we're still waiting on new regulations. Even though the mall has been transferred by ordinance to streets, this DTS has not drafted new regulations for us to actually procure permits. So we're still being managed by Parks Department. So there's going to be can't guarantee everything's going to happen the way we envision it until we get the new regulations. And with that, I'll bring up Sandy. She can talk more about the September 26th event.
So I'm Sandra Pohl, and I'm with the Downtown Arts Center. And we are partnering with the 4th Street Ed to do a festival. 200 years ago, the first restaurant and hotel in Hawaii was opened on the corner of Bethel and Hotel Street. I mean, that's kind of a wonderful fact. And so what we want to do is celebrate that. We're doing an event on September 26th and 27th. It's a Friday night event on the mall to celebrate a gathering place for local people to hang out and meet and have music and, you know, just be, make the mall more active. And then on Saturday, we're going to have plein air paintings out on the street. We're going to have our celebration. We're going to have cookies and cupcakes to celebrate the 200-year anniversary of this. Yeah, so music, it's something fun to do. Yeah, it'll be a great partnership. And we expect lots of people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone in our public here has anything to say? Not here, none. We'll go to the web. Anyone on the web has any questions that is not a board member? Patrick Watson, I consider you to be some type of board member. No, kidding. Go ahead, Patrick.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to make a comment. I think, first of all, it's a really good idea to try to activate that area of Fort Street Mall. And the reason I wanted to share this was because Memorial Day holiday, I went over there with my wife. We went through Chinatown just to have lunch and stuff and just spend some time out there. And when I got to, let's see, I started from Nimitz. I was showing her all the work sites that Kalusha was active in. I got to Queen Street, and then between Queen and Merchant, there was probably about 4 or 5 homeless people kind of loitering on the benches, and it to the point where we didn't feel safe going any further. People were yelling, people were kind of carrying on, and so that's the kind of activity that happens on a broad daylight holiday, you know. So I think this is a really good idea for you guys to kind of do something with that space in a positive light. So I just appreciate what your efforts are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Any other community members beside board members? All right. Not seeing any. We'll go ahead and start off with board member live.
Chair, thank you. If I could ask a question of Mr. Karibsky, with the transfer between parks and DTS, what is the position of the BID on having bicycle traffic, skateboarding traffic on the mall as things go forward? Do you see that as being something you would like to continue to prohibit? And if so, what efforts will be made to kind of enforce those types of regulations?
I think I would defer to DTS in this. I know there are a lot of planning models have mixed streets in Europe and Asia, and they assure me that it's not as unsafe as people think, as long as we draw lines on the mall and get people there. So our board hasn't taken a position on it, but we will wait to see what DTS proposes first.
All right, thank you. Going to board member Armstrong here. Hands up.
Thank you, Chair. Just a real quick question for Sandy. Is this a picture of someplace we should know?
So that is the original building 200 years ago, where the Carter
We didn't
Warren
have
House
cameras
is.
200 years ago.
If you were here 200 years ago, that's what you would have seen at the corner of Bethel and Hotel. Hence why Hotel Street is named Hotel Street.
Okay. I didn't know we had cameras in 1825. But anyways, Ed, I do have a really specific question, and this has been of a concern to me now twice in the last week, but in particular on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, I noticed that Fort Street has become a parking lot. I know that there's a merchant or two that needs to do a delivery and stuff, and there might even be a merchant who has, you know, a right of way for most of the day. And I know the Basilica has construction people. They weren't working on Saturday, but I can't account for the other 5 cars. Is there any policy not to make Fort Street into a parking lot? Because that would be against the whole idea of why we changed it from Parks and Rec and the whole idea of a pedestrian mall in the first place.
Although we have security,
They don't do anything, you know.
It's HPD's. They can't enforce it. HPD has to enforce that.
Okay, so
wait, hold on. I thought that one of the reasons we were transferring it was because it was going to be your responsibility, not HPD's.
No,
No,
it's
no, no,
still a city's, it's going to be a city street, not a city park.
Yeah. Okay, next board member Rossi Sukani.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I just had two follow-up questions on your, so you mentioned for the last Fridays, which sounds like a great event that you were waiting on funding. I'm just curious, is that city, state funding or private funding?
Hawaii
And then,
tour-
and then sorry, just the second question, because we don't allow follow-ups. The new DTS regulations for the street closures you're talking about, I'm just curious about that because I thought that would just fall under the existing street closure, street festival permits. But
So I really don't know. I mean, the thing is that, you know, one of the things when you do close the street, you always need special duty police. Now at the mall, you don't need special duty police because we're not really redirecting traffic, you know. So that's one of the things that we would sit there and work about. And again, I don't know, I'm not a city planner. I don't know what what DTS will come to me with and say, this is what we recommend. So that's where we are with that. And sorry, the first question was? Yeah, funded was Hawaii Tourism Authority CPEP grant, but it's being run from the Native Hawaiian Council or something. So we haven't, I would have thought I would have heard by now, but we're a startup event, so I'm not totally optimistic about getting it.
All right, do we have any other board members who hasn't? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Sandra.
So the Downtown Arts Center is funding our event with sponsorships, and so it is privately funded and not government.
All right, and any other questions from any other board members? Hello? Nope. Nope, not seeing any. No? Okay, so I'll go ahead and end this. I want to thank you guys for everything you're trying to do with 4th Street, but I have a big concern, just like Bob does, because I've been walking that way. My dog hates it. The cars are coming there like it's a free parking spot, bottom line. And it is getting to be annoying. That's not what that mall should be about. It should be about people being able to come out and eat on the streets and relax and enjoy and make it more festive. But with cars there, who's going to want to go there, especially with the fumes and all that, the oil's coming down into the ground, destroying the ground. Okay, so just something, I know it's not yours, so I'll address it with DTS.
I'll see if I talk to the business owners as well. Let them know it's 15 minutes unloading, loading.
Yeah.
Generally, I work Monday through Friday, so if I see something, I can approach it. But on a Saturday, I'm not there.
All right. Well, we thank you for your presentation. You have a good day. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. So item 4.3, Honolulu Department of Parks and Recreation caught me before I was coming down here. They had to cancel and ask to be rescheduled to next month. So we are going to actually move on to 4.4.
Mr. Chair, point of order on that agenda item. Do you know if they're proposing one or just soliciting ideas for one?
They're soliciting.
Okay, thank you. And for people at home, that was for a dog park. Thank you.
No problem. So next is 4.4. Let's see where my paper won't turn over. Go ahead. I'm Roberta.
Hi, thank you so much to the community board for having me here tonight. My name is Roberta Hickey Gomez. I represent the Mediation Center of the Pacific. We help people resolve issues outside of a court of law to empower people to take solutions into their own hands. One of the programs that I will be representing this evening is the Early Eviction Mediation Program. Next slide. So a little bit of history and background on the program. The program is coming out of the Act 57 COVID eviction moratorium. The program was initially paired with rental assistance. It was a required program by the state. So in order to move forward with eviction proceedings, you had to first engage in mediation as well as have access to rental assistance. Next slide, please. The program expired in August of 2022. We moved forward, being able to move the program ahead. We had private contractors in terms of mediators, and we had a slow build. But throughout this year, we've been growing strongly and steadily. Next slide. So a little bit about the program. The program is a mutually beneficial program. It benefits both landlords and tenants. On the landlord side, it reduces the time spent collecting rents that are in arrears. Typically, that's between 1 and 4 months. It also saves landlords money in terms of evictions. It can cost anywhere between $500 and $10,000. It also helps foster agreements and preserve those relationships in the community. If a breakdown does happen post-mediation when there's agreement in place, landlords can also take that to the court to expedite the process to show that they have done everything in good faith to resolve. Next slide, please. We also know that it's a benefit to tenants. It's greater housing stability and predictability, and that's whether tenants remain in the home or whether they come to a reasonable move-out date. Agreements between tenants and landlords provide for greater ease in housing relationships. They empower tenants to be able to meet on equal basis with landlords. Fewer evictions on records is always helpful for tenants. It helps because they can be stigmatized and that can impact their future housing decisions, whether that's purchasing, whether that's financing, or whether or not that's part of Section 8 housing, because as people may know, if you have an eviction on record, you can be kicked off of Section 8 housing, and that can be catastrophic in terms of houselessness. Overall, it provides greater community stability in terms of houseless prevention. Next slide. So the program has progressed. It's grown about 20% over this last fiscal year. We have about a 93% agreement rate. And what that tells us is when parties agree to come to the table, we find solutions that work for them. We've had about a 60% increase from Q1. Next slide. The program works in this way that landlords and tenants have an opportunity to talk with the help of an impartial mediator. If English isn't their primary language, we provide an interpreter. Meetings are held remotely. If a participant doesn't have internet access, we provide that. We also partner with community organizations to be able to provide those services. Before mediation, participants sign a confidentiality agreement. It's scheduled for 1.5 hours at a time that makes sense for both. Once an agreement is reached, that gets distributed electronically to the parties. Next slide. So scheduling cases can be scheduled within a 48-hour period and can typically be resolved within a 3 to 5 business day window. And you can also see when you compare that to the courts, it can be anywhere between 4 and 6 months. Next slide. We also have programmatic tools that we've been developing as part of this program, one of which is the eviction cost calculator. And this helps landlords by inputting their specific data for their rental units to be able to give them a real life determination on what this eviction will cost them. Next slide. So you can see it breaks down in terms of what their legal costs, their repair costs, their marketing costs, et cetera. And it's specific to them. So those broad numbers of anywhere between 500 and 10,000 get really specified to each person. Next slide. We also have tools like the budget calculator. We partnered with HCA to provide a budget calculator that makes sense for the local communities here. Next slide. And it gives them a financial determination to be able to determine whether or not they can enter into a financial payment plan or whether or not this is the right fiscal fit for them. Next slide. We've been partnering with community organizations, as I mentioned before, to have a space where people can go to be able to resolve their issues that can offer them assistance in terms of being able to fill in our online intake form for mediation, providing a space for mediation or tech assistance. Next slide. We've also been working on SB 825 SD2 HD1, and this has gone through successfully in the legislature. We're just waiting for a signature from the governor to be able to provide a 10-day window for moving forward with eviction mediation scheduling. Next slide. If anyone is interested, we have a QR code here available. Anyone can go to our website, mediatehawaii.org, click contact us to schedule a mediation. Next slide. You'll be taken to this form where you fill out your information, the information of the other party, what the issue is to resolve, and then we will contact you as soon as we receive. I am open and available to any questions anyone may have.
All right, before we move on to questions, I just want to say to the community that ends up watching these on YouTube at their free times, all this information is on our Google Drive, yeah? So please go to our Google Drive and you can pull it up there. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll start. Anyone in the library who has any questions for Roberta? No? Anyone online who has any questions for Roberta? Not seeing none. We'll go ahead and move to the board members. We'll start off with board member Armstrong. Go ahead.
Thank you, Roberta, for coming here. I just think this is so timely and important and really, really deserves a lot of publicity, and I hope you get it. Two quick questions. The first is, by any chance, and this may be really out of left field, but by any chance, do you have any idea, as per neighborhood, what are the eviction rates, in particular, the Chinatown downtown area, as opposed to any other neighborhood that you want to choose? That would be my first question. And the second is, am I correct in assuming that this isn't really a financial plan where you can get rental assistance? It's a way to have the parties talk in a civil way and a fair way.
Yeah, so in terms of the eviction rates, we can't give you the specific eviction rates overall. We can only give you what's reported to us. So anyone who's referred to us for eviction mediation, we can provide that. We do have that split into zip codes. I can't give that to you right now, but I can certainly email it to the board if you are interested in that information. Happy to share that, of course. And then in terms of, sorry, what was your other question?
The second question, not money.
Yeah, no, we don't provide any financial assistance, but we do work closely with a lot of community organizations to be able to refer people out to organizations. We work closely with Aloha United Way, which lets people know in real time who has financial assistance available for them. So we partner to make sure that we're routing people to the assistance that they do need.
All right, thanks. Is Board Member Isakani?
Thanks for educating us on this program. It sounds like especially around COVID, Act 57, that's expired, I believe. But it sounds like you're looking for the state to provide more assistance here. Am I understanding that? Because I'm guessing somebody's paying for the mediation services,
Sure.
so you're probably looking for some funding for the state to help with this. I, for one, would be very supportive because I think it's just saving even the landlords a lot of money with our impossibly unaffordable housing. Rentals are so important to our people, and anything you can do to even provide a benefit for the landlords here of helping them save money is great. So I guess overall, I'm not even sure if there's a question. Thank you for what you're doing. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help support this bill that you're trying to.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Board Member Lai, please.
Chair, thank you. Mr. Berta, I may have missed this at the start of your presentation, but can you review for us who are the current sources of your funding and an idea of maybe what your non-salaried budget outlay is for the services? And how do you anticipate it going forward? Do you anticipate any expansion of the services you're providing, other islands, broader communities? Just curious about that.
Sure. So we receive a variety of funding. It's part of Mediation Center's overall programming. So in that sense, we receive it from various different initiatives and funds, our typical private funds, our board members, et cetera. In terms of the expansion, we do have a cadre of mediators who are specifically dedicated to the work that we do right now at the level that we're at. And we also have a pool of other trained mediators that we can call on to bring in should the program expand need-wise. Right now, we're basing it based on the need of the referrals we have. As we expand in terms of those referrals, then we'll start bringing in those other mediators that we have contracted who serve in other areas.
And sorry, budget-wise?
Thank you. Hold on. Remember, no follow-ups unless you ask the board member. Ask the chair. Yep. Go ahead, Mr. Lai.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ensure if Roberta had a chance to answer this other part of the questions, which was, do you have an idea of your non-salary budget on an annual basis?
I don't have those numbers off the top of my head.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go one more time to Board Member Isakani.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for the follow-up. I mean, I think this is a fascinating topic, actually. One of the things that I've been working really hard on is the empty homes tax, and that's just to try to incentivize landlords to get housing for rentals.
Sure.
The big opposition we're always hearing is some anecdotes of saying, oh, well, based on the Hawaii tenant laws, they're so tenant friendly that we just don't want to rent it out. To me, those anecdotes, I'm not sure how statistically based they are. It sounds like you have some reports on what the prevalence of evictions are. I would really, really, really love if you could share that, because I would love to do more research on. We have 100,000 rentals in Oahu. I'd love to know, are these evictions outside of COVID? Is it a statistical anomaly? Are they? How prevalent are they? Because again, whatever information you can provide, that would be
course.
really helpful.
We can certainly provide information on the early eviction mediation program and the referrals that we're receiving, but there's also, you know, a cadre of referrals that are going into the court system. Our role in this is to try and pull people away from the court system to be able to resolve on their own and trying to empower people to find those solutions that make sense for them rather than go through a long drawn out process. Yeah, exactly. We're being proactive. We're offering this program. It's free to both landlords and tenants. We have both come to us. It's not just strictly for one or the other.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other board members? All right. Not hearing none. I'll go ahead and finish off. I just want to ask you, where were you guys when I needed you? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. So I actually, when I was a paralegal, I had to do my internship and I did it at Los Angeles Superior Court. And one of the big things I worked on personally, was evictions and helping people and their landlords. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing. It's a very important issue to all of us in Hawaii.
Yeah, thank you so much.
But if you can go ahead and if you get any other information, just go ahead and shoot it over to me. I'll share it with everybody, okay?
Yeah, I can share you any zip code information that we have that might be prevalent for your area.
All right.
Of course.
I appreciate it. You have a great day. Thank you. This was excellent. All right. Okay, so next we're going to go up to public concerns. These are 2 minutes each regarding issues not listed on the agenda. No board member is allowed to participate in public concerns, and only questions to be asked of them, all those that are coming up, is basically what time is it, where, just in case. All right. Do we have anyone in the library that wants to speak in public concerns? Any community members? No community members to speak on public concerns in the library. Anyone online, please? Who? Angie Knight, go ahead. Oh, hello, Angie. How you doing?
Hi,
Nice
thank
to
you,
meet you
Chair and neighborhood board members. I'm Angie Knight. I am so sorry. I'm right outside of my district town hall, so hopefully they don't disturb us. I am representing the Institute for Human Services, IHS. We, thinking how to say this, but basically I'm here because we are having a community event in your neighborhood. It is going to be on June 28th at Ala Park at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And this event is meant to be a gathering of the community, including our shelter guests, but also the neighborhood itself. And the event will have live music and it will have lawn games and also be a celebration of the history of IHS. On July 1st, it'll be our 47th anniversary of existing, but this year it will also be an honoring of our founders, as Tutu Burt, Father Dutiel's wife, has just recently passed. And so you guys might remember her or the Dutiels and their legacy, as you guys are very familiar with Sumner Men's Shelter and the rest of our shelters. But yeah, if there's any questions, I'm available. And we are doing this event in partnership with the Trust for Public Lands. And it is in the spirit of revitalizing the neighborhood and the park.
All right, so Angie, we can't get into deep questions, but you can also send me any brochure you have it so I can share it on the Google Drive, yeah?
Okay, yes, we are finishing up our flyer right now, and once I have that, I will give it to your board chair, and then he can send it out to you guys. And I'll also have more information on our website, which is ihshawaii.org.
All right, thank you, Angie. All right, do we have anyone else that would like to speak up on community concerns? All right, not hearing any full public concerns, I should say. We're going to be moving on next to elected officials. And as we know, priority will be given to elected officials or representatives that are physically present at the meeting, including discussion on board community inquiries for 5 minutes each. First in was Senator Rhodes.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to kind of go backwards. I had a written report that everybody's gotten, I think, but there was a couple things that came up this afternoon that I wasn't able to get on the report. So one was a question for Board Member Lai, he wanted to know whether the regular election law for the state applied to neighborhood board elections. And the answer is, I don't know. I spent an hour this afternoon trying to figure it out, and it's been a long time since I've had to do my own legal research. So it would appear that I'll just leave it there. I will get you an answer as soon as I can, and I'll bring it to the board if you want, or I'll let you know to Mr. Live before next month.
Yeah, just send it the report.
Okay, great. The other one that came up was that the state judiciary this afternoon sent out a press release saying, beware of text scams involving bogus unpaid traffic tickets. So if you get a text saying that you owe a traffic citation, be very careful with that. I know with the new traffic cams where you can get a red light running thing, it's not like your normal one where an officer gives you a ticket, but just be aware that there is a text scam. You can find out more about it if you just Google the judiciary website. It'll give you some more information. I'm trying to see if there's an actual, well, I can give you the phone number. It's 539-4914, 539-4914 to ask someone at the judiciary more details. Okay, on to the report that you already have. I'll breeze through it quickly. There has been a second measles case in April, and it's a very contagious disease. So if you haven't got your MMRs up to date, your vaccine, seriously consider it. Catholic Charities Hawaii, on behalf of the Lanakila Multipurpose Center, which isn't quite in your district, but a lot of people from your district go to it. We did get a grant and aid appropriation for them for $125,000. This past session, I introduced Senate Concurrent Resolution 131. This urges the state to acquire the Hawaii Theater to promote local culture and arts, preserve its historic and cultural significance, and facilitate its continued public use. SCR was adopted by both the House and the Senate, so it's not a bill, so it just goes to the House and the Senate. This encourages the administration to go ahead and purchase it and then have a nonprofit run it. But as you may or may not be aware, their insurance rates are even worse than the condo building I live in, have gone way, way up, and they're really struggling on to keep things going. So this may be a way through it, but we'll see how it goes. Also, the Hawaii State Library is launching its 2025 Summer Reading Challenge. It started on June 1st, goes to July 31st to encourage reading for individuals of all ages. There are different sets of goals for children versus teens, adults, and prizes will be awarded. You can visit the following website for more information and to register for the challenge. It's librarieshawaii.org. Libraries Hawaii is all one phrase, /summer reading. librarieshawaii.org/summer reading. And if you guys can beat my wife in this contest, I'll be shocked. She reads like a book every 4 or 5 days. When I first started going out with her, I thought she was going through like a really heavy reading phase. No, for 31 years, she's been doing this. So I'll be impressed if anybody can beat her. That's it. If you have any questions, always feel free to call my office, 586-6130, and sinroads@capital.hawaii.gov.
All right. Thank you. Anyone in the library has any questions for the senator? Not hearing none. We'll go straight to the web. Anyone that is not a board member has any questions for our senator? Not seeing any. We're going to go ahead and move to board members. We'll start with board member Russ is coming first this time.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senator Rhodes, for being here again. That's always great to have you. So last month I was asking about the stopper committees, the WHAM and the Finance Committee, and obviously some shake up with Representative Todd taking over now, although haven't heard of any like specific rule changes related to these stopper committees, but that's okay. Time will tell. I wanted to get your take on the Senate rules because I've been doing a little bit of research with the help of Representative Kim Koko Iwamoto, and I've been looking at Rule 46, for example, and that's where the committee assignments are coming. So just kind of curious if you have any thoughts, given you're a very powerful senator, if you'd be open to any changes, and more just for my edification, what is the process of how those rules get established? Is it a committee? Is it go ahead.
Yeah, so the process for the rules, it's an internal document to each house. So we vote on them. I say that loosely because usually leadership the president and majority leader, and they have the most influence in terms of how they're drafted, but we do, the whole body has to approve them. They don't typically change very much from year to year. So yes, I mean, I am in favor of changing some of the financial rules. I do think that the current process, where I believe it is not particularly useful, is where a bill really has no or almost no fiscal impact. And for those bills, I don't really see the reason why either finance or ways and means would need to be involved. It sounds to me, it's just a guess, but it sounds to me like that's the way the House is leaning. And I think that does put pressure on the Senate to go the same route, because you sort of have, it's much easier if things are sort of mirror imaged, if the committees sort of match up along the analogous committees match up when you're in conference. So, I'm reasonably hopeful that something will move forward in that regard. Let's see, was there another part of that question? I was going to mention just on the stopper committees, that's a quote from me from Civil Beat. I actually was referring to the A bracket committees, not just Ways and Means and Finance. I mean, they're the ultimate stoppers, but Judiciary and Consumer Protection are also, lots of bills die in my committee and in Consumer Protection as well. So I don't want to put all the blame on Finance and Ways and Means.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Board Member Armstrong, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senator Rhodes, for being here yet again. I want to, first of all, start by saying thank you for helping save, preserve, assist the Hawaii Theater. Like Walmart, we can't afford to lose that incredible gem of 103 years. And anything that assists in that is much appreciated. And it goes overlooked, I know, but thank you. The second question, and I have two questions. Number one, are you going to be involved with, as the head of Judiciary, the selection of a Chief Justice for Hawaii? And my second question is, could you bring us up to date with where things are about committing the mentally unfit in our neighborhood? There was a call for some lawyers a little while ago, and I don't know how that was received. Of course, we all know who lawyers are like, but I was wondering if you could kind of give us a status report about the laws that you've helped enact to assist people who have no rights left anymore.
Yeah, so
as a mental illness.
It's for me, it represents Chinatown, but really for the whole state these days. Mental illness is a big deal. There was a bill that, well, that's the long way to say it. The short way to say it is nothing. I think it's fair to say that nothing major changed this session. There was a fairly significant bill, SB 1322, but in the end, it didn't make it. So my personal feeling is that we're pretty close to where we need to be on the legal side. There's different categories of mentally ill. Some just may not actually make any legal sense, or it may not be constitutional for the state to get involved, and they need to go to their doctor. But we wouldn't force them, because whatever they're doing wouldn't hurt anybody too much. Then on the other extreme, there's people who are violent and they need to go to the state hospital, where they both get medicated. They have to, there's forced medication at the state hospital and they can't leave. So it's like being in prison and having to take meds. So the intermediate group is the one that's been relatively new, and that's the assisted community treatment area. And there, a judge, if you jump through all the legal hoops, they can make you take your meds. I see people that I think probably need an ACT petition every day as I walk around. But as a lawyer, there are lots of legal safeguards involved there. With regard to the Chief Justice, I'm at my committee and the Senate is at the end of the process. So the Judicial Selection Commission they are in the process now of getting people's names who want to be Chief Justice. And apparently not very many people want to be, because they delayed they had to open it up again. And as eventually they will, and then they'll send a list to the governor, and the governor will pick one. And then that pick will come to the Senate, come first to the Judiciary Committee. We'll either say we like him or her or don't. And whatever happens in the committee, then it goes to a full vote, and then they are either confirmed or not. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Any other board members? Laura, go ahead, Board Member Laura.
Thank you, Chair. Senator Rhodes, you mentioned about the text fraud that's going on. Have you been hearing anything about jury summons and that a bench warrant has been put out on you, and if you don't pay up, you're going to get arrested? I've
That's-
received the call.
I've not seen that one myself, but I can't say as I'm real surprised.
Yeah, that one.
Normally that jury duty is, they'll send you, I just was called for jury duty recently. They send you something in the mail.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But he gave me an address that was my mother's, not mine. That's what was the first clue. Something was up.
So be aware of this other scam as well. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and end it. I'll go ahead and end this. Thank you very much. Tyler and I organized our community walks, and this time we did it with Botanical Gardens. And let me tell you what a pleasure it was going out. It was to be out there, and the people that came out there, more than anything else, because I haven't been there for a while. I'll be honest, I'm born and raised there, but last time I was there when I was in the 5th grade at Kalihi High School. So you can imagine. But the thing is, it was such a great experience to rekindle that. And it was so educational that I would suggest to the community that go in. But while there, I realized that there's this freeway that came in and actually broke this Botanical Gardens apart, because the other side of the freeway was the other part of the Botanical Gardens. The thing is, you could smell the fumes and everything coming out of that into that, and I don't think it could be quite healthy for the plants and trees that are living there. So I want to know if you're going to go ahead and revise your plan to build a park over those freeways. Yes, I think the time.
Yeah, the State Department of Transportation has, I believe the status is right now that they have made a request to the federal government for the money that we had originally asked for. We did, during the Biden administration, we did not make the cut. There's so much uncertainty about federal funding at this point. I just don't even know how to speculate on it, but it's still on the table. It's still on the table, but even if everything went right, it would be years before we actually got the project done.
I just thought I'd ask a question because the setback to this was the noise, pollution, and the smoke and everything else that's coming out there.
No, I live 4 blocks off the freeway, and I can hear the roar of the traffic all year round.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate everything you do for the communities.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Next up in person, we have Stephen Downs, Governor Josh Green's representative. Go ahead.
Good evening. I think you have my report.
We do have the reports.
So I'll take questions.
All right. I don't think there's anyone in the library that has any questions. No questions. Anybody online have a questions for the governor's representative? All right, not seeing any. We'll go to the board members. Board member Isukane.
Thank you, Chair. Hey, Stephen, congratulations to the governor on the green fee. That's a big win from my perspective. I was particularly pleased that cruise ships, I believe, are now going to be subject to the transient accommodations tax. Just for context, I mean, we all get it. Tourism is vital to our economy, but we also see that it creates costs for the general people. And I think those who profit off tourism should absolutely pay their fair share. Now, for our next step, job is never done. What about the unpermitted short-term vacation rentals that are out there? I mean, I know that's largely a county issue, but government, we just all need to work together. And that is a big chunk of properties out there that aren't paying TAP, aren't paying the green fee, aren't paying the property taxes that they should be paying, and moreover are contributing to our housing crisis by taking stock away from our residents. So just wondering if Governor Green has a take, now that he's gotten the green fee, is there something that he could get the state to do to help the county enforce it? Thank you.
All right, board member Lai, please.
Chair, thank you. Mr. Downs, I did have a chance to review your report submitted to our Google Drive. And regarding the Aloha Tower observation deck, if I'm interpreting your report correctly, it seems as if there's a lot of activity going on trying to get things wrapped up and reopened by the end of or some part of 2026 for the 100th anniversary of the Aloha Tower. That sounds great. I just wonder if you can confirm if that's something that a correct interpretation of your report. I'm trying to relay some information to those who are listening. And do you know if there will be a ceremony to that effect in the summer or fall of next year? You may know offhand, I'm not sure, but feel free to comment.
I do not know offhand what the plans for a ceremony, but I'm sure there will be one. But I'll try and find more details if I can.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other board members? All right, not hearing none. Thank you very much. You have a great day. Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to start at the top with Congressman Ed Case representative. Do we see Congressman Ed Case representative? Going once, going twice, going three times. Not here. Next up, we have Mayor Rick Blangiotti's representative, Ian Sante. Ian Sante also just sent me an email, that late email at that, because I went back and asked about where's his report. He's at the mayor's town hall meeting. Yeah, his report is online. I did put it online. Okay, so his report is online. So next up, we have City Council District 6, Tyler DeSantos, Tam. Jackson, are you here?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, Jackson.
I turned in the reports, but happy to take questions.
Go ahead. Anyone online or in the library have any questions for Councilman Tyler DeSantos representative? All right, I'm not seeing any. All right, so then we'll go ahead to the board members. Board members, any board members? Rossi Sukani, go ahead.
Hey, Jack. Thanks for the very robust response to my question from last month on the STR bans, Judge Watson ruling. Really appreciate Councilmember Dos Santos Tam's support on this. So just keep us in mind if there's any legislation in the future, because I'd like to be aware at any hearings, offer some public testimony in support of that. Now, my question, of course, Budget Chair Dos Santos Tam was very busy. So, when he has a chance, I was wondering if you could give any feedback or reactions or insights on the budget process. Specifically, I'm always interested, or I'm very interested in understanding a little bit more about the HPD budget. The budget is very intimidating, so I haven't dove in, but I'd love to get more of a breakdown of the difference of personnel related costs, salaries, benefits. Overtime specifically is one I'm very interested in. Everything that comes from their budget, even settlements of city settlements for any court claims against them. That would be of interest. And again, just seeing if there's any help you could provide, because I'm sure you all are experts in the budget now. It's an intimidating document. So just thought I'd throw out the question. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, board member Lai.
Chair, thank you. Mr. Truesdale, this is regarding the recent elections for neighborhood board. And if it's certainly been brought to the attention by the neighborhood commission office that the recent election was completed with numerous errors, and if it's proposed that one or more elections need to be redone, for lack of a better word, will the council member pursue some means of recouping the funds that were misspent on the first election, so that the taxpayers are not left with the burden of having to pay for two elections when one election would have been plenty enough? I wonder if you can get a position or a statement from the council member on that. I'd appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
You said there was a failed election?
There are a number of issues with the recent neighborhood board election that have been brought up where it was conducted in a fashion not in compliance with the neighborhood plan. And for that reason, there's a possibility that one or more neighborhood board districts or sub-districts will need to be rerun. And that, of course, comes at a cost to the taxpayers, but this should never have happened. If only the neighborhood commission office had read the instruction book, namely the neighborhood plan. I don't want the taxpayers to be burdened with a mistake that somebody has made. And so I'm hoping that city council, in its oversight of the neighborhood commission office appointees, will get involved in this procedure at the appropriate time. I'm hoping that council member Dos Santos Tam can have a position on that.
Okay. Do you know how much money that is?
we've been quoted something roughly less than $200,000, but I'm not sure what it would be.
Okay. And who would that be recouped from?
You know, whoever was responsible for spending those funds in an
All right,
inappropriate
so
fashion.
hold on. Okay, so this is done. I tell you what, it's gonna be better, Kevin. You go ahead and send them exactly what you have, yeah? Yeah, because right now you're getting into issues of a complaint made for the neighborhood board, which we all got, yeah? So
Thank you,
I
Chair.
think it'd be best that you go ahead and send them your email and share that way. All right, because I know you wanted this to be on the agenda, but you didn't have it in time, so we're gonna have to move on. He'll actually give this to you and send you an email, okay, Jackson?
Sure.
Thank you. Do we have any other board members? Nope, not hearing none. Thank you very much, Tyler. We said thank you very much for everything. So next, we're gonna go ahead and move on to House District 25, Kim Coco Iwamoto's representative. I believe Katie's online.
Yes, hi, good evening. Please forgive me, my camera's not on. My laptop died yesterday, so I'm just making do with my phone. Our monthly e-newsletter is not quite ready. It should be hopefully done by tomorrow, and I will be sure to have it sent out to all the board members here. And I am available for any questions.
All right, thank you. Anyone online or in this library that is not a board member who has any questions for Representative Kim Coco Iwamoto's representative? Not hearing none, not seeing none. Any board members have any questions? Go ahead, Ross.
Thanks, Sherry. Hey, Kate, just wanted to thank for the very, very thorough written response to my question from last month, pointing me to House Rule 2.1, paragraph 14 on those committee assignments that I have a gripe about. So, you know, I did find the PDF of the 2025-2026 rules on the State House website. So I was looking at the actual language of paragraph 14, and my initial thought would be maybe, you know, it would be great if the introducer of the bill maybe had a way to appeal those committee assignments. And I understand that might be troublesome because there would be a lot of appeals, but just riffing here, you know, it could be a matter of obtaining a certain number of signatures from the members of the assembly, you know, either 50% or 2/3. So I'm just kind of spitballing because this is something I'm passionate about. You know, this kind of issue that Representative Iwamoto brought up to us very early on. She was dead on. She was correct, and you know, got our attention. So really want to see what we can do to help change this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other board members? All right, not hearing none, not seeing none. I want to thank you very much, Katie. You have a great day. To our representative, Kim Coco, that we miss her at our meetings, but I understand she's busy. All right? Okay, so next we have State House District 28, Representative Daniel Holt. Did you send a representative? Oh, not seeing none. Once, twice, three times. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move
Mr.
on.
Chair, point of order. Am I correct in seeing that we've lost 2 board members electronically, that we're holding on to a quorum here with Kevin Lai online, but the other 2 have gone? Is that correct?
Yeah, so
That we have lost
looks
2?
like it.
Okay.
So it's like about almost 1:30.
I know, I just wanted to.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I
All right.
don't, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, thank you. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to quarterly reports. This time we only have Honolulu Authority Rapid Transit, HART. Harry Cho, thank you for being back in your position again. There you go, Harry.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again. Thanks, Chair. For those who I haven't met, my name's Harry Cho. I'm with the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation, or HART. I just have one announcement to share before I follow up on some of the questions from last month. And I will quickly drop a link to the flyer that I'm sharing. And I will share my screen. All right, can everyone see that?
There we go. Got it.
All right, so Hart will be hosting um, neighborhood design workshops, which uh, will begin this month. Um, the first design workshop will be for the Chinatown station, and it will be held on Thursday, June 26th, 6 p.m. at Ke'ilikolani Middle School's cafeteria. This is an opportunity for the community and the public to provide their input and ask questions on certain design elements of the stations that are being built in the third segment of the project. This is the first of 2 workshops that we're holding. There will be a workshop for each station. The first workshop is just for the Chinatown station. Future workshops may have some stations grouped together. But for the first one, we are just having a workshop for the Chinatown station. If you can't attend in person, there is an option to still provide your comments and questions online through a comment form, which you can see there's a QR code here at the bottom. And this link is clickable and it'll take you to this online survey. So if you can't attend in person, you can still submit your comments that way. And like I mentioned, there will be a second workshop for the Chinatown station as well. Next, I have a couple follow-ups to the questions that were asked last month. So first question is, when was the last forensic audit? When is the next? And where can this information be found? So the response to that is Hart has never had a forensic audit, but undergoes annual independent financial audits, which are required by law. These are conducted by a third-party firm, and the results are available to the public on our website or upon request. In addition, Hart has participated in performance audits, which are conducted by the city. Next question is, why wasn't the rail designed in a linear path? And the response to that is, it can't be in a straight path because the alignment has to adjust to existing roads, existing utilities, buildings, and other infrastructure, while also minimizing impacts to the environment. So it's pretty straightforward reason why the rail alignment can't be built in a straight line. Next question is, how will the rail alignment get from Dillingham to Nimitz? And what will the height of the guideway be in that area? So if you can just picture driving from west to east on Dillingham Boulevard, as you approach Ka'ahi Street, which is the street right before King Street, where the Hiko substation is. The rail alignment will turn slightly toward Ka'ahi Street. It'll pass through the dead end, passing the Evelay Senior Residence, passing 215 North King Street, and then it'll continue on Nimitz. And the height of the guideway can vary anywhere from 20 feet to over 40 feet, depending on the location. And the last question was, what impact will the rail's height have on the 215 North King Street apartment? And like I just mentioned, the guideway is elevated anywhere from 20 feet to over 40 feet, depending on the location. And of course, the structure is going to be visible. However, the design aims to maintain safe clearance over roadways and minimize impacts to adjacent properties. So that is the responses to all of the questions from last month. I also wanted to give a minute to Patrick with our CCUR3 contractor, Coluccio, shortly. He will be sharing some updates on some road restoration work on Nimitz upcoming this month. So go ahead, Patrick.
All right, thank you, Harry. Let's see, I'm gonna try to share a screen really quickly. All right, so the work that I wanted to just make you aware of is the road restoration work that Coluccio has planned for starting next Monday night. It's going to be in 4 different segments. They anticipate 3 days or 3 nights per segment. And this work is Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. So they're going to begin at Smith Street eastbound to just beyond 4th Street as the first segment. So beginning next week, Monday, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, then the Kamehameha Day holiday will interrupt it, and then they'll continue the following day, and then move further east from just beyond that 4th Street break to Richard Street, just beyond that. And then they'll turn around and do the westbound lanes. So this again, is scheduled to take place between June 9th and June 30th, Monday through Friday nights, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. So they're going to be maintaining through traffic during this work. So they may take up to 3 lanes, but keep 1 lane open for traffic during this work. And they will try to maintain these turn lanes as often as possible, but when they actually have to pave across the lanes or the intersections, the traffic will be detoured or held. So that is generally what is going to be happening through the month of June to complete the repaving and restoration of Nimitz and Ala Moana Boulevard. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we're going to open up. Anyone have any questions for good old Harry Cho? Oh, Mr. Patrick Watson. Go ahead, Board Member Armstrong. Oh, Candace. Go ahead, Candace.
Oh, thank you so much, Ernest. And thank you, Patrick and Harry, for your presentation. I just had my husband and I have a question about the Hart-owned piece of property that is on Nimitz, between Nimitz and North King Street and adjacent to the stream, Nuuanu Stream. And on 215 North King Street. I want to find out what is Hart's plans for that property? Are they still maintaining it? Because we're finding that, you know, there's a lot of graffiti, you know, ever since Hart vacated that, moved your equipment, you know, further down the road towards behind the restaurant, that Golden Palace restaurant. It seems that there's a lot of homeless trying to break into that area and more graffiti along that, you know, along the fence. Is Hart gonna reoccupy that parcel, or do you have security maintaining it? You know, we notice people leaving trash out there. Like there's literally like 3 blue bags of trash that I don't know, someone left right outside the gate. So, that parcel of land, is that something that you're going to return equipment to, or clean up, or maintain, or donate to 250 North King Street, or give back to the city and county? How is that? What plans do you have for that?
So is that the Patrick? Is that the Ava?
Correct,
The Ava
correct.
staging yard? Okay.
Yeah, so
So
Hart
that
refers to
was
that.
used. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Hart refers to that area as the Ava Street Staging Yard or the Ava Triangle. So Harry can take it from there.
Yeah, so that piece of land was being used by our contractor, our utility relocation contractor. I don't know what the future plans are, but I can get back to you. I would assume that our next guideway and stations contractor will also use that piece of land for staging, maybe some of their equipment. I can't guarantee that. I don't know for a fact, but I can definitely check on it and get back to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank
You can,
you.
if you get that sooner, you can send it to me and I'll just direct it to Candace, yeah? Okay.
Sure.
All right. Candace, thank you very much. All right, next we'll go ahead and move on to Bob Armstrong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and
No, he
welcome
was-
back, Harry and Patrick. It's good to see you again. First of all, kudos to the idea of a Chinatown design workshop. I think that's a wonderful way to involve the community, and it sounds actually like an opportunity for our station to look like our neighborhood, Chinatown. So thank you for that. But the question that I have is, I don't know if I'm dreaming or if I read this or if it was a rumor, but is there an idea or a plan out there to, now that we're pretty much up to Middle Street with the station openings, I know that's coming in October. I heard that now there's a shift by the vendor who's creating the rail to start at the Ward Street final station as it exists now, and then move toward Middle Street in the opposite direction. Is that true? And that seems like that is counterintuitive to the utility work that's going on. So if you could address that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. I don't know exactly what the plan is for our contractor to, like, which direction they'll be going in, but I believe the plan is for them to begin in the Evelay area near Ka'ahi Street and work towards Nimitz first, because the Dillingham utilities is going to be ongoing for a little bit longer, which is why they want to get started on areas that are already completed.
Thank you. So they are going that way. No, they're going to come down from Ward back into Khalid because of what they have to do in Dillingham. Yeah. So they are going to do it that.
And that's not to say that they'll go backwards from like Evelay going west toward Middle Street. I don't know that for sure either. But they will be starting in Evelay going towards Nimitz at least.
If I might have a follow-up, I just want to put out there that that would probably mean then that the Chinatown station would be the last to be built and the last nickel to be spent. And in my opinion, that sounds like, after waiting for so long, the worst idea possible for our
Well,
neighborhood.
I don't think we'll be the last because
No,
Khalid won't be finished. Khalid is not going to be finished because of the underground. All right. Next, we have any other board members? Lai, do you have your hand up?
Sorry, I did want to quickly add, next month, our Guideway and Stations contractor, their project manager will be joining me. I don't know if, sorry, I'm not too familiar, but are we here on a quarterly basis now?
No. Once Hart comes into this area, you're going to be here basically on a monthly basis to let us know what's going on. So I'll
perfect.
discuss that with you, okay? And
Okay,
you need
but
to-
I did want to mention, at least for now, next month we will be joining again, and our Guideway and Stations contractors project manager will be joining me, and he can definitely shed some light on some of the more detailed.
right. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Board Member Lai. I think you had your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And Mr. Cho, welcome back, good sir. Two quick questions. You may know these off the top of your head. First, this recent attempt to claw back federal funds from the California high-speed rail project. Do you feel that HART and our project is at any risk of that? And if so, are there mitigation plans to counter that? Secondly, do you know if HART has done any research on the concerns about steel on steel rails and wheels and the noises and squeaking and squawking that might be resulting from that? I ask certainly in concern of folks who may be residing at 215 North King Street, since it seems like the Guideway will be rather close to their windows for some folks. I'm just wondering what surveys or experience or data you may have about already areas of the rail that are active. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but I can get back to you next month.
All right. Thank you. We do appreciate that. Okay, so I don't see any other board member raising their hand, so I'm going to close this. I want to, first of all, welcome you back and congratulations on your marriage. Thank you for
Thank you.
coming back. So you and I will just talk later. I'll let you know on the schedule. I'm going to put you guys on, okay? All right?
Sure thing.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a great day. Next up, we have the church report. It's just real quick, and then of events and initiatives, just real quick. Just wanted to let you guys know that our Legacy Parade will be happening here in downtown area. King Kamehameha Day Parade is Saturday, June 14th. So the roads will all be closed, yeah? The parade starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then the late draping on Oahu is Friday, June 13th. 2025. And don't forget, everyone, please do not send me no emails on Wednesday the 11th. It's a holiday. Let me rest. Anyway, everyone, next announcements. The next downtown Chinatown neighborhood board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday this time. Remember, not Thursday, but Tuesday, July 25th at 6 o'clock p.m. at Ke'iliokalani Middle School. And you can come here virtually via WebEx. Rebroadcast of Downtown Chinatown Neighborhood Board number 13 meetings are scheduled on Olelo Channel 49 for every third Thursdays at 9 o'clock p.m. as well as 9 o'clock a.m. on the fourth Saturdays of each month. An archive of past meetings may be found at olelo.net, searching downtown. This meeting is now adjourned at 7:34. You guys have a good day. And for those that you won't be here next month, happy 4th of July.